Easy. It's painful, but it's wonderful. What is the name?
It's Royce Unchained.
Patrick Royce, you have watched the Vikings since they arrived in 1961. Can you ever think of a time before where you have said it's Lions Week and meant it as anything other than a joke?
No, not really. Let's see. They weren't bad early when Van Brocklin was here. They were okay. Mm-hmm. And Joe Schmidt had some good teams in the 70s, that would always come in there and figure out a way to lose. The one I always remember is it was a late afternoon game, so the NFL must have been starting to do those in the 70s. I don't know. But it was like dusk out there. And the Lions were going to kick a field goal and beat Bud for the first time in a long time. And they went and they maneuvered everything, and they got in perfect position for Errol Mann, the kicker from North Dakota, and he got it blocked. And the Vikings, they had 1 year where they blocked 14 kicks back in the day.
You could jump on guys.
Well, A, they could do that, but B, you're kicking off this, this dead grass and mud at the Met Stadium, and the first few years they played the Lions, they were in Tiger Stadium, so they had the same situation. Everybody was playing on beat-up baseball fields. Come October, there was no grass, and then it'd get to be winter and November, and you couldn't get the ball. You couldn't, and everybody's kicking straight ahead.
Yeah.
Your premium was I think your premium was he with them when he kicked 6 or 7 field goals here? It might have been. I think he might have been with Detroit, and he kicked a bunch of field goals, and that's when Van Brocklin. Well, so it was Van Brocklin was done after 1966, so it was sometime in then, and that's when Van Brocklin allegedly said, "What are you going to do about these soccer style kickers?" And he said, "Tighten the immigration laws." But I think, in retrospect, Clovey probably made that one up. I would think it was too good a quote although Van Brocklin was a good quote guy, but I never dealt with him. But I remember reading his stuff and listening to him. And but I think the Vikings won that game and won the NFC North last night when Aiden Hutchinson got hurt. It was brutal. What is it? I haven't looked. Broken leg or what?
2 broken bones, and it was a compound fracture. Surgery immediately, and he's going to eventually go back to Detroit, but he's still, I think, in a hospital in Dallas right now.
Compound fracture means it went through the skin, right?
Yeah, he's done this season. It's over.
And he's a monster and relentless, man. He just, that's really a difference maker for them. Now, I was going to lead with the fact is, how can the Cowboys be this bad? Now, they got a bunch of guys hurt. Mike is hurt. The kid from here's hurt. But how can they be this bad? It's just awful. They can't do anything offensively. Are they beat up offensively, too? They're terrible.
No, I just don't think they're good. No, I mean, Dak's playing, CD's playing. No, I just don't think they're. And how long are they? Well, first of all, is our guy Zim going to be fired as a sacrificial lamb soon?
Did they fire McCarthy today or not?
No. And Jerry doesn't. That's what's weird. Jerry, for all that Jerry's known for his knee-jerk firings, he doesn't really fire coaches quickly at all. Yeah,
but this was not firing him quickly was not firing him after last season. That the fact that he's stuck with him is incredible. And did you see him after the game? It looked like 1,000 of his closest friends died in a fiery plane crash after the game. He was. But how old's he now? 88, late 80s? Must be late 80s because he was looking pretty feeble last night.
Yeah,
but can you imagine? Putting 100,000 people in that place and putting that display on for him. My God, when are people gonna stop coming?
82 years old.
82 looks worse. Looks worse than 82. But that was incredible. I mean, the Lions they'll come at you, man. Offensively, they got that good line, so that'll be a real battle. Flores is. defensive schemes versus probably the best offensive line in football because I think they're healthy, right? Is their line healthy right now?
I think so. Yeah.
They missed Ragnow missed a lot of last season, but I think one of their guards or something was hurt for a while. But they were man, they did not look good the first couple of games, but they're come at you. They do stupid stuff though. What are they running? You know, these stupid trick plays. They're on the 1 yard line. They're going to go ahead by 5 touchdowns, and they run some stupid-ass trick play and then end up not even they ended up not scoring, right? I don't – did they kick a field goal?
That's what that's Campbell.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be
but
stupid,
it's also
but
this – but he also gives complete freedom to this Ben Johnson to invent these idiotic plays. And then they run them, and it would have been great if they didn't get any points out of that when they're down there 28, and then Dallas comes back and makes a game of it. But they had no chance to make a game of it. They were brutal. So but the other thing is that what the Vikings got going for them is the lack of injuries. How many guys they got hurt? 1 or 2 banged up just a little bit? Nothing serious now that Addington's back?
Aaron Jones has the hip, and we don't know.
That's right.
So that would be bad. But, I mean, relatively speaking, you're exactly right.
Yeah, defensively they're 100%, aren't they? So it's sitting there for them, and they've had a week to get ready for the Lions. Lions will come in and give them a good game, but I think without Hutchinson, it's going to be a lot more comfortable for Sam Darnold than it would be because that guy is crazy the way he rushes the passer. Yeah,
he's phenomenal.
So it's too bad. It's a brutal sport, man. Every week we're reminded how grotesque it is, and
the concussions yesterday. I'm watching the Red Zone channel, and the amount of guys, good players, who were leaving with concussions. I think there were like 3 or 4 of them.
Yes, I saw that. Who'd I see? One of them. I didn't watch a lot yesterday, but I did see one guy get really rung up. I can't remember. It's I was watching a game and the quarterback tried to stay in the game, and it was get him out of there. It was one of those plays that. Anyway, seeing the Cowboys had, I mean, who could ever feel sorry for the Cowboys? But God Almighty, and Zim is walking there looking at his sheet and they're just running through him.
There's no answers, Zim. There's no longer any answers.
Not with that collection that he's trying to play. And I don't know how many beyond the 2 pass rushers, who else they're missing defensively. I don't know. Their cornerbacks are terrible. Everybody's terrible. So it's, what's their last Super Bowl, 95? Has they been not?
They haven't been to
the
NFC Championship game, I don't think.
Since 95.
Yeah.
I mean, when do we start, when do people around the country find a new favorite team, for goodness sakes,
Well, and why did you pay Dak that much? That's what I don't get. I mean,
I don't know.
He's fine, but, very few quarterbacks are worth that type of
They got intimidated.
Mahomes.
They got intimidated into it. They got because they didn't. I guess they didn't have an option B. But man, he's deep in his heart, he's a loser. And
you can't improve your defense, Pat.
No,
that's what the Vikings learned with Kirk. You couldn't do anything with your defense because you're so strapped by the quarterback's contract.
Yeah, they've screwed up everything down there. God Almighty. Well, first of all, they were the last. Were they one? Well, I guess maybe Barkley too, but were they the last team to way overpay a running back, Ezekiel? They paid him a ton, right? Weren't they the first? The last team to.
They might have been.
They were paying him $25 million a year or something like that.
You're right.
So. Is he anywhere in the league?
He's with Dallas again.
Oh, really?
Just sitting on the bench.
He doesn't play.
They have no run game.
No, they got nothing. It was so bad that it wasn't even fun anymore. No. It was at first it's hilarious to see them like this, and then all of a sudden you feel sorry for them. You don't feel sorry for them. You never will, but they're I think Super 70 said they got to go back to drugs and cocaine and
the White House.
The White House, and they got to go back to going after the game and snorting cocaine off women's private parts and
Hollywood.
stuff like that, like they used to in the old days.
The 70s, that team was fantastic.
Oh God, yes, and they had a good time.
Henderson.
Too. Yeah. Hollywood was, but I mean, and Irvin. I mean, they were still. The White House was the '90s, wasn't it?
It was.
'90s, right? So.
It was Irvin.
Anyway, yes, the Lions are coming to town. It's a big game, but the NFC North is the top 80% of the AL Central was this year for most of the summer until the Twins went in the tank, but. The NFC North. Now how would you like to be playing Trevor Lawrence all that money?
Oh,
that's not very good either, is it? Huh?
That game
I didn't watch much of it. I just
Jacksonville.
I've gone to the YouTube. You can now go if you missed the game, and they'll give you big plays, so you can watch like 28 plays back to back. Yep. That's how I watched the Bears, because I went to see what the Bears' score was, forgetting that they were playing in London, and saw that they just kicked the hell out of them, which surprised me. And then I just watched the big plays. But Lawrence was either getting sacked or throwing an interception or missing it was brutal. Are the Bears any good?
Defense is good, and Caleb looked really good. But again, Jacksonville's totally checked out.
Yeah.
But their defense is legit, which was expected.
Okay. Well, and the Packers
look good.
Packers look good too, and Detroit. It's all of a sudden it's the powerful division of the Meanwhile, they got 4 teams who could win the NFC South, right? I would think.
Or the East, maybe. Yes.
Yeah, or East. That's right. Kirk is going to win the NFC South, right?
Tampa Bay is pretty good too.
Where'd they give? By the way, I meant to mention this. Remember, I've been on this kick for a couple of years. The secret of the NFL is that every game, 80% of the games go down to the last 2 minutes. Yesterday was blowout city. There was like 8 of them that were routs. So that wasn't. I mean, how does Tampa put up 50 on you? Baker Mayfield. Yeah. Baker Mayfield is our role model for Sam Darnold, isn't it?
Yeah, although I watched him a lot. I forgot how reckless that guy plays. He does not slide, Baker. Oh. He takes on tacklers.
Really?
He's going to get himself hurt. Oh, okay. God, yeah. He's throwing himself at tacklers.
Kind of a Robert Griffin thing. This Daniels kid, though, I watched him a bit yesterday. I hadn't watched him much. He's not like – they don't have him doing what Griffin was doing. They're not making him get hit like, the RPO. He's not running the RPO. He's trying to throw. Yeah.
He's still trying to throw the ball.
Yes, he's I was afraid because how athletic he is that they'd end up doing the same thing they did with Griffin. But who was the coach that ruined Griffin? Was that Shanahan?
Was it Shanahan?
Who was there? Washington.
Was Jay Gruden there at the end?
Maybe
it might have been
Gruden.
Mike.
God, that was
Mike. But yeah,
that was a
disaster.
That was a tragedy that kid only lasted about 3 years before he started getting killed.
And his rookie year, he was really good. I loved it.
Yeah, but they ended up, the NFL. Whoever thought that RPO could work long term with the hits you're taking from these guys? I don't know. It was ridiculous.
So Jay Gruden was RG3's coach for 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm. So RG3, how long did he hang around the league? About 4 years, maybe 5 years?
It wasn't long because he tore his knee up initially, and then he was never the same.
Yeah.
But that league, Pat, when you watch games, to your point, it's also I don't know how they joke, or it's a joke that they try to talk about safety, right?
Yes.
Like, this is the most brutal, high speed, because it's faster than ever. Like, there's no way to safe-proof this thing. No way.
I was watching a game on, and the guy threw a flag because he thought it was a helmet hit, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I saw this.
But it was like right here,
Yep.
you know, and it was almost like he threw the flag because you hit him too hard.
Yep.
You know, that was.
I saw that play.
He threw the flag because it looked like this vicious. It was a vicious hit, but it was legal.
Right.
So now they're gonna. What are they? How much of this this stupid thing that they were gonna do about you couldn't pull them down tackle? I haven't.
Hip drop tackle.
Hit drop.
I haven't seen one
that
called yet.
I haven't seen him. Did everybody just stop doing it or what?
No, because when Addison got hurt against the Giants in Week 1, that was a hip drop.
I don't even know what the hell it is, but I haven't heard. I haven't heard about the tackles. You know,
I don't know how you can call that.
No,
like a horse collar, you can see.
Yeah, you got to get them down. You got to get them down, right? Yeah. So anyway, yeah, it was. It was a great day for the Lions, and yet when it was over, they had to feel like bleep, man, because they lost probably one of their three most important players, at least.
Oh God, yeah.
Hutchinson, he's just a monster, so it was too bad. And hell, injury like that, he might not play next year. Who knows?
Well, I mean, that can change your career completely, no question.
I think Seifert said this first, but a lot of people said. When they said, we won't be showing you a replay, you know it's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which dates back to the Theismann thing where ABC couldn't show it enough, and we all were like,
right. Yeah.
Uncle, we don't need to see his leg snapping in two.
No, we don't. We don't get to, it broke. That one broke in the middle of his, above his ankle. His foot was just flopping.
Lawrence Taylor was manically calling for a trainer.
Yes.
Like one of the most brutal guys to ever play the game.
Yes.
So you knew that was awful, and they kept showing it.
Did he play again?
Theismann?
Did he come back after that?
I think he did come back, but I mean, again, you're never the same.
No. Greatest interview in the history of the NFL. I didn't like him that much on as a broadcaster. He was okay. He talked too much, but greatest interview ever. I told you this story. I was out there when we were playing. Hell, this is 83 or something, the playoff game out in Washington.
Uh-huh.
And we're out at Redskin Park.
Uh-huh.
And Charlie Dayton, who was the fantastic PR guy back when they cared about print media, and a long time ago. And Charlie said, yeah, you get him today. And it's 7 o'clock. I've been there all afternoon. It's 7 o'clock, and he's on a radio station in Fargo. And Theismann, and he said, when he's done, you'll still get him. So he got done at 7:15, and I got 45 minutes. It was unbelievable. 8 o'clock.
He's unbelievable.
He was great.
You call him at home today, he'll give you the same amount of time or more.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he will be.
His career, you're correct. It says on Wikipedia here, the compound fracture of the tibia and fibula led to insufficient bone growth during Theismann's recovery, and he retired after that.
Okay.
So
when
he did
was
not
it?
play again.
When was it?
Mid-80s. Well, let's see here. Let's see if I can find that here. Mid-86, it looks like.
Did he win the Heisman? Did he win it?
They changed the pronunciation of his name.
Yeah, well, Roger Baldessari did that, told him that. He was, Roger Baldessari, who was the Charlie Dayton of college. He was the greatest. He was at Notre Dame, the SID. And Roger, he comes in and they introduce him to this hotshot quarterback they've recruited, Theismann. And he says, no, you're Theismann. Your name is Theismann. Yeah. I don't know if he
was in contention for the trophy, but it looks like he didn't win it.
Yeah, but Roger Baldessari changed his pronunciation to Theismann. Roger was big on. Roger's the guy who got the kick returner. Tim, the receiver.
Tim Brown?
Tim Brown. Got them the Heisman by coming up with statistics about how people punted away from him and stuff like they kicked these short punts away from him. He got Tim Brown, the Heisman. It was like, how do you get the thing? Because he didn't have gaudy statistics, but Notre Dame was great at getting the Heisman.
Joe got hurt on November 18th of 85. In that Monday.
I had a chance to recall when Paul Giel was the Heisman runner-up in 53. And Notre Dame's Johnny Latner, who was not a great player, but Notre Dame again got it. The fact the Gophers were 4-4-1 that season. Giel was the player of the year, the All-American, the All-Everything. And you want to know how America's changed? He went to baseball for more money. Instead of he signed with the New York Giants because baseball paid back then, and the NFL was just a little, 12-team, nothing league.
Burt Bell days as commissioner?
Huh?
Was that the Burt Bell days?
Burt Bell was commissioner. It was just some guy that had worked for the Redskins, and they just made him, everybody had they were big on not showing games on television. The only games, it was like baseball when Calvin first came here. Hey, if you showed a game, if the game's on for free, nobody will show up to watch the game, which back in the 60s was probably true because we were so damn cheap. But, anyway, that's the way it goes. So, yes, it was a bad day for the Lions, good day for the not a good day for the Vikings, but it certainly increases their chances here Sunday, right?
How about
why don't we kick it off? Noon again?
Noon, because I thought it might get flexed to Sunday night, which is the Jets in Pittsburgh. It didn't get flexed. And then the next thing would be Fox could put it in the late afternoon window.
Can they do
Sunday.
that?
They can move
can
it.
They do that?
But it's a Chiefs game. They ain't moving the Chiefs.
Okay, but can they do that stuff this early in the season?
They can flex to Sunday night now, yes. They can't flex to Monday or Thursday yet, but they can. But then Fox has at 3:15 on Sunday. They've got the Chiefs and Niners, and that ain't going to be moved. No. So we keep it as a noon game, despite the fact it's one of the best games of the week.
So what? So when do they have to tell you that you're not? And how early, if they're moving it to a night game, when do they have to tell you? Monday or what?
I think I think that's a 12 to 14 day window.
Oh,
No. It would have had to be last week.
Okay.
It changes late in the season, but right now I think it would have had to be like a week ago, Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
So, but good. I'm glad.
Yeah. Did we get you to watch any of the Lynx game yesterday?
Yes, I did. This series has been phenomenal.
Who?
This series has been phenomenal.
Yeah,
the end of Thursday was great.
Man, it was. I didn't see Thursday. I was in the car coming back from the Wild game.
Crazy.
But the comeback was unbelievable. But I watched the fourth quarter. It was physical. Man, they were beating the hell out of each other. It is a physical affair, but it's not that old 25 years ago,
right?
Wrestling on the floor. It's physical intentionally. This Courtney Williams is crazy, man. She is
great?
She is a ball of fire. How Reeve got her, for whatever she's paying her is pretty amazing. That was they didn't have a guard. They didn't have a point guard until they got her, and Reeve ripped her without mentioning her name before Game 5, saying we played terrible point guard defense in Game 4.
Right.
And she came out like a crazy woman in Game 5, and when they won here, so I think they got a chance to win her. How about the WNBA going to best of 7 though after this? Wow, they're finally
for the finals. Yep.
After what? I think it started 96 or so, was it? 97 maybe? 90.
Yeah.
They're finally taking it seriously. It's not just a little summertime annoyance that the NBA had.
People want to see it.
Yeah, they're now up to 40 games, and they're, the playoffs are, used to have a best of 3 final, just to get it over with. They had 1-game playoffs, and they were just, was treated like, let's get this over with, and then we can get our guys back in the gym. Meanwhile, what was going on in New York, down in the city in Madison Square Garden, man?
Did you watch
our guy DiVincenzo is screaming at Tibbs.
Pat,
it was
that game had the
that was not
of
an
like
exhibition.
A late season playoff on the line game.
The first 3 quarters until they started playing some of the younger guys, it was
thing
weird.
I've ever seen, Pat.
Yeah, it was. And I'm watching. Why are you playing all these? Why are you? There's no league where keeping minutes down is more important, right, than the NBA. I mean, you're trying to get these guys to play 82 games, and God love hockey. It's a grind, I know, but the longest guy plays is 22 minutes, 23 minutes. Well, some defensemen play 25 or 6.
Yeah.
But it's basketball. Your good guys play 38 minutes a night. So what are you doing? I couldn't figure it out. It was a battle. But hell, Cat stays in there long enough to get 16 rebounds.
I know, Pat. It's the most intense exhibition game in any sport I've ever seen.
No, and then Brunson's on the floor, and Ant goes to pick him up, and he won't let him pick him up.
And then DiVincenzo gets into it with Rick Brunson, Tibbs'
after
buddy,
the game.
And DiVincenzo and Jalen Brunson are like best friends, and these two almost come to blows. I have no idea. It must have been
Rick Brunson must have been getting on him for screaming at Tibbs when he was at the free throw line. Isn't that what you maybe read into it?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know either. But
I mean, it was great theater, but it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen for an exhibition game. The game doesn't matter.
I kept saying, put Luka on. I want to see how Luka played great the last game, supposedly. I didn't watch it. I didn't even know if it was on. But
Ant scored 31. That's all you need to know. Ant stayed in long enough to score 31 points.
31, making threes from all over, celebrating like it was amazing.
He was defending like it was Game 6 of the playoffs.
Yeah, what are the 2 regular season games with those guys going to look like? Man alive. I got to say, though, I love DiVincenzo, man. He can shoot it, and I had no idea he was a crazy guy, though, that he would be screaming at the bench and stuff. You need a little of that. Although, who they got to spend a little time incorporating into whatever they're trying to do? Jaden McDaniels. In addition to getting 3 quick fouls, was like, did he play? He didn't do anything. He just went and stood in the corner like he did in the old days.
This is what happens, though. This is the problem.
Is he worth investing all this money in? I mean, he's supposed to be a great defender, but I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Every once in a while in a series last year in the postseason, he had a good game, and you could see how much difference he makes. But he mopes around. He walks over the bench and mopes around for getting 3 fouls, and he's not an ebullient personality, to say the least. I don't know about him.
He does get lost.
Yeah.
He just gets lost in shuffle at times.
And now you got DiVincenzo, right?
Yeah, who doesn't get lost?
And now you got this crazy 90-year-old guy, Joe Ingles, who shoots every time he gets a ball. And you got all these you got Randall. When's he ever going to, when's he ever going to get the ball?
I think he's going to play for the first time Thursday night against Denver at Target Center.
Yes, I know Randall, but when is McDaniels ever going to get the ball? He's going to get the ball less than he did previously because they have more options.
Finch talked about, I have to do a better job this time of getting him the ball, but that doesn't mean that he's going to be able to do that.
No, it was a little hard to emphasize that yesterday when he had 3 fouls in 2 minutes. Did you know that I didn't know until I was watching the game last night that the NBA told them, let them be more physical.
Yes.
Did you know that?
I read that last week.
They've they've done it in the past, right? They just haven't said it. They haven't announced it previously, have they?
Right. Well, what's going to happen to our guy Cat now? He already wanted a foul every time he got breathed on.
Yes.
What's going to happen now when
he
half
was,
the time
he was back in
it?
he was back in the groove screaming last night. So it is. They do. I will give the NBA guys credit for this. They do practice their bitching at the officials during the exhibition seasons too, right? They got to get in form, right?
Well, Cat's got it down to a science.
Yes, yeah,
because the voice goes up an octave when you're foul.
Oh yeah,
that's a foul.
But it was, as you said, it was the most fierce exhibition game I've ever seen in any sport.
It was the damnedest thing.
It's like having a beanball war in a grapefruit league or something like that.
I thought at first, I wonder if Carl will play because, you don't really need him to play. Yeah. And it's the Timber. Not only did he play, like you said, he played long enough to get 16 boards and had 31 bleeping points. Like they were competing.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure why.
It was incredible. So when do we start? Do we open at home, right? But what? Not for another week, right?
No, yeah, it's another week.
23rd or something, whatever that is.
I'll find it, but yeah, I think you're right. Yep. So, hey, how about those fighting Gophers?
Oh man, that was.
UCLA is awful.
Playing a bad team. They're now 1-5, but they couldn't move the ball at all until once again, 2 fourth quarter touchdowns, right?
What's with Brosmer?
Yeah, all of a sudden he looks
and
good.
Then it's like, bang.
Yeah, looks good at the end. But UCLA is, offensively, they got nothing going for them at all. It's, but hey, PJ could have had that job. How would he like to be coaching that outfit, PJ? For he's the guy that replaced him is making $3 million. You're making 6.75, but.
And he doesn't deserve it. Deshaun Foster is in so far over his head.
Oh, yeah.
It's incredible. Yeah. Why didn't they? So Bieniemy's his OC, right?
Yes.
Why didn't they just give him the head job?
Yeah, I would think. I don't know. Deshaun he's got no chance. But they're going to do better because they're in the Big Ten now, but they're way underwater financially out there. Their athletic program. They don't have boosters. Southern Cal has boosters. They don't have boosters.
Well, and Southern Cal's boosters might want to consider buying out the head coach.
Ooh.
The meltdown on Saturday?
That was hard to lose because
you had them.
Penn State has as much business being the number 3 team in the country as TCU or something. They are not that good. And they basically had them buried and they let them off the hook. It was brutal. So,
yeah,
I don't know. They're trying to tell me how great it is to have these teams in the Big Ten. I don't approve. Although Oregon, Ohio State was there. I watched most of the fourth quarter. Ohio State screwed that game up, too. Did you see that?
I saw the QB slid at the end of the game and the clock ran out.
Yeah, well, but before that, they were doing goofy things. They were down in field goal territory, and then they committed about 2 penalties in a row, and they just looked sloppier than hell, and they were really not that good defensively either. Do we play them? Ohio State?
No, okay. This year. Yeah.
Okay.
No, thank God.
Well, they got Maryland coming here, and too. They're off, and then they got Maryland, which just got killed by somebody who
Northwestern.
Northwestern.
Terrible too.
Northwestern beat them bloody, and then they got Rutgers. Our guy Kaliakananis or whatever his name is didn't have a very good game against Wisconsin. I think he was 13 for 32 for 80 yards or something.
And Wisconsin not good either.
We don't know. Their last 2 weeks have been good, but it's probably who they're playing. I don't even know who they played 2 weeks ago. And meanwhile, Illinois, which you were looking at as a loss, gives up 49 to Purdue and wins it when Purdue goes for a 2-point conversion.
College football is complete chaos now.
Oh, it is. It is.
Portal and NILs and kids going. It is chaos.
Was Texas the school that put the 4 Ferraris or Lamborghinis in front of the building for NIL?
I don't know, but
I think they sent out a photo of it, and come and get your Lambo, and they're good. They kicked the hell out. How do you think the very spoiled Oklahoma fans, Brenton Venables might as well start looking for a job. He'll be available.
Yeah, that was not good.
It's not like the Bud Wilkinson days when they used to call the Oklahoma City paper and ask what the score was, and they'd say 63-0, and they'd say, "Is that all?" So
you know what this is,
against
though?
Kansas State.
It now makes perfect sense why a guy like Saban just walked away.
Oh God, yes.
I wouldn't want to put up. I mean, this has got to be like, what's the coach? PJ keeps talking about, I'm cultivating young men. We're building young men.
No, you're not.
You're not even close.
You better right now call up the your collective and say, give a raise to Coy Parrish, will you? Give this kid from Esco a raise. That guy's fantastic.
Yep.
Freshman. He's a freshman. He might be a first-team All-American as a freshman.
I'm telling you right
now.
He's
won 3 games for him already.
When he goes into the draft, if the Vikings don't grab him second round, They're crazy.
Well, Ohio State got him to visit after he'd committed here and thought they changed his mind. I got a hunch that
what's he going to get offered though?
Yeah, that's what I mean. They reduced the number of days now to 20 or something, 15 or 20 for the portal. So, but the offers are going to be coming in. I have no idea. I mean, he's obviously loyal to Minnesota, but my God,
I'm calling him right now.
What if they offer you $1 million?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
What are you going to do?
Yeah,
I
mean, this kid is great.
Oh God, he's
terrific. Phenomenal. He should play. He should actually play at least a package of plays on offense too.
Yeah, really good. He was he did everything at Esco.
Yeah,
he was.
Chip said basketball. He was phenomenal, which is not surprising.
Well, not much of a phenomenal athlete. He wasn't a shooter or anything. He was a phenomenal athlete. But because when the kid from Cherry played him, the Basuma,
at the U. Yeah,
I think they beat him bloody.
Okay,
Esco. They beat him by 20 or something. So
okay.
But he is an ass. I mean, he jumps out of the gym and stuff like that. So, but he's been fantastic to say the least. Are we going to have to give PJ another raise after this season? When we're gonna go to when you look at the games coming up, we're not going to have to settle for the quick lane this year. I think it's. I think
where
are we going to a Sun Bowl or some damn thing like that. I think you can.
So what's the 12? What's the playoff? What's the bowl game structure for that?
Yeah, I don't know how many of them. I think the first 4 might be bowl games, and then you got the. No, wait. The first 4 will only get you down to 8, right?
Yeah.
So I think the round of 8, are the old traditional bowl games on January 1st. So I think that's how it is. So maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's how it is. And then they just send you where they want to. So
okay, all right. Well, yeah. I mean, who knows?
How about I did a column on Denny Schulstead going out there. Denny Schulstead, the old city council guy, making a nostalgic journey to the Rose Bowl in honor of his deceased wife and her old Pasadena friends. She was from Pasadena. That RJ found an 87-year-old couple that was going out there.
People out there.
We
unearthed everyone.
We did treat it like they were going back to the Rose Bowl for real, didn't we?
This is how you know when no one really cares about the team.
Well, I don't know. I think they're the last 2. That Southern Cal game got a lot of attention because to win it because Southern Cal, it's still Southern Cal, right? Even though, by the way, They get very upset when you call them Southern Cal.
They're USC.
You know, they want to be Southern California or USC. What would be wrong with Southern Cal? Isn't that a great nickname to have? So
who knows?
But yeah, college football is chaos, to say the least.
I mean, it's great fun to watch, but I wouldn't want to be involved in it in any form now.
So one last thing, the Twinks, you just had your Twink show.
Yeah.
I guess some of the bloggers are not taking my anti-fan column too well. I hear I'm being attacked in various outlets. I haven't really looked at it.
Well, we talked about your column, Suhan's column, which was a different tone than yours for sure. And Adam Platt of, I think it's MSP St.
Yeah, I saw his. He actually did some research. He just didn't do an opinion.
But he came to a little bit more of the same conclusion that Suhan did, which is, be careful of what you wish for. Well, I got no problem with the fans here, so that's my thing.
I mean, it's fine, but I just think that they're giving themselves way too much credit for being loyal. That's my theory.
Yeah.
Well, because they're not. They're not.
And we did not chase the poll ads out. That I will say.
Huh?
I said, we as a collective did not get this accomplished. Like, I think there's some folks that think
what got it accomplished was A, commercial real estate since the pandemic.
Yes.
And B, the look at the future of regional TV money. And I think right now there's a very good chance baseball franchises are at a peak and are going to be going downhill, I think. So if you're going to sell, this is the time to do it, I would think. I think they might be worth less because baseball is in more trouble with TV than any other sport, I think.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, because and the audience is old.
Yeah.
The audience is old. And what used to be the great asset for regional TV, inventory, I don't think inventory is as important as it used to be, right?
No, it's not. And baseball wants to share, and the problem is the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Cubs, the Dodgers ain't sharing.
No, they got to figure out how to do something. The football thing
is what works as far as sharing.
Oh, sure.
But it's not going to happen.
But football managed to do it. And Pete Rozelle managed to do it in 1961.
Right. Yeah, I know.
And plus, they got a cowering union that caves in at all opportunities. So
unbelievable.
Yeah, there should be a class action lawsuit against the NFL among every position group except quarterbacks. They should all sue, and left tackles.
Why guys
should not sue?
Why guys pay union dues to that particular group is beyond. You're just getting robbed. They do nothing for you.
D. Maurice is out though, right? We got somebody else.
It doesn't even matter at this point. They
got a 10-year contract, right?
The league does whatever they want.
And they're going to go to 18. Games. They're going to go to 18 regular season games and say we're going to give you more money.
Yeah.
And these guys with the 3-year careers are going to vote to take more money. So,
hey, question: Star Tribune on Sunday, A1 story by Bobby about how teams in baseball function now and the sales. Here's my question. The poll ads are not going to sell the real estate they own around Target Field as part of this deal, correct? Because my question is...
I don't think so.
I don't think... Because, the thing now is the Cubs, right? The Ricketts have bought up a ton of land and built, and so they're keeping a lot of what comes in around Wrigley Field. The Braves built their own stadium in a suburb.
Out in the country.
But it's Bravesville, right?
Yes.
I don't,
that's not happening here.
No, but the Twins thing is, as far as I know, the people that buy the team are going to have no land and they don't get parking. So that's my big thing is I don't know how you accomplish that unless the poll ads
that's
throw
probably
in some
why
land.
It's not. I don't think everybody's talking 1.6, 1.7. I don't think it'll go for that much. I think it'll be 1.3 or something like that, 1.2, which is a nice raise from 44 million. But I don't have any. But one thing that drives me crazy is the suggestion, well, somebody's going to come in and want to move them.
No, that's the
They got no place to go.
They won't let them move anyway.
There's no place to go, and you're about 5th on the pecking order for moving, too. And
you won't get
How would you like to be the Tampa Bay Rays? You're going to build a new stadium that holds 30,000 people in the parking lot of the old stadium, which just blew down in a hurricane. You got 4 hurricanes a year coming into they got to get the hell out of Florida. They got to,
that's a whole nother, that's a whole nother story.
Training. Now, I checked. Supposedly the facility's okay, but, when you're talking about the Twins, you're going to have any team that gets out of its lease in Florida is heading for Arizona. They're not going to put up with this every year.
Correct.
This warm water is no BS. I remember being down there when, thank God, I don't own that thing anymore. I'm sure it's flooded. But I remember being down there, and there was a tornado threatening Tampa and that area, and it was the first one that hit the West Coast in like 20 years. Now there's 5 a year, and monsters. This one was blowing 185 when it was out on the ocean. 185.
Yep. And they didn't get a direct hit, and they still got crushed.
Oh yeah, they didn't. It didn't. It kind of, the eye got smaller, and it didn't.
To your point, the roof blew off the stadium.
Yes, and even if you don't get a direct hit, you're getting 25 inches of rain. Yeah, things are flooding. Unbelievable. Get out. You're paying. You own a house down there, and your roof got blown off 2 straight years. What do you think they want to charge you for a homeowner's insurance? How many houses down there don't have homeowners insurance, I wonder? Hundreds, I got to think. It's a mess. I did check, and they didn't. Apparently, they just got wet. They didn't have any because Fort Myers, it stayed just a touch north of Fort Myers the way it looked, right?
Right.
But you ever watch these weather channels when there's a tornado, a hurricane?
And they send them out?
Yes, and they're standing in the water, and they're so brave. Well, 4 days later, they're still showing their hurricane coverage from 3 days. All they care. There's nothing else in America that matters to these weather channels than hurricanes, even when they're no longer hurricanes.
It's like
even
the Cowboys, Pat. It's like the Cowboys.
Yes,
even when they're bad, that's all people care about.
Even when the hurricane's gone. Did you see the Mucky Duck went?
I was just going to ask you.
The Mucky Duck, my favorite.
It didn't go last time. It went this time. Lots of tears shed.
Yeah, it made it last time. It damaged, but this time it's vacant. Apparently, nothing's left.
Phil said the food, not that great.
Mucky had great chowder, though, man.
Okay.
Great chowder.
Okay.
I go out there.
I never went.
I'm a big clam chowder guy, and I gotta. But the wife and I went this year. Okay.
Okay.
And they had the bridge was down, and then they had the temperature. So we went out to the Mucky, Captiva. That's a good idea. Middle of the afternoon, 1 o'clock. Driving back, 1 hour and 45 minutes to get to the bridge. I'm never going back to Florida again.
No.
I'm done. I'm done with spring training. I'm done with Florida. The scumbags always bitch about the federal government, and then they have hurricanes, and they want us to send them hundreds of millions of dollars.
The traffic.
DeSanctimonious and the other jackasses down there, we should cut them off. Let them secede from the union.
It's the traffic that gets me.
Oh,
Twins
God,
meet
yes.
would go to the Mucky Duck every year. And I said, how long? And they're like, hour or 2 hours. I'm like, no.
Right.
I could go down to the Timmy's Tomatoes in Fort Myers and get a beer and some wings, and I'm fine.
Yes, you're right. That's I would go out there, but I never had experienced it like this, No,
so. but you're right about teams. Like, why would you stay there if every year you're concerned your facility might get blown down? You're right.
Hey, we had a little dust storm down here in the summer, and we can get rid of dust.
Right.
You can't get rid of blowing down buildings. You got to get out of there. It's ridiculous. Plus, you know what else you don't have in Arizona? Rain. If you schedule 32 games, you play them when you're supposed to play them, generally speaking. Once in a while, they get a little...
And they got land. Arizona's got the land. You can do it
keep
there.
building them out there, Now, the one problem is people don't go to the games, but, they do to go to Cubs games and games like that. Yep. There's so many of them there that it's hard to service them all. But if you're a player, where would you rather be?
Oh, it's not close.
Hey, Bill, you're on the trip from Fort Myers to Jupiter today. Or you're on the trip to Glendale. I'll take the trip to Glendale. So,
and I think the trend in Arizona, if I'm correct, is to build facilities that house two teams.
Yes.
Right? Like I think the Dodgers and the White Sox.
Yeah, you play them 8 times. You play those 8 times a year.
And there's no Mayor's Cup involved in that one.
No, you just go
Battle
across
of Fort Myers.
But spring training, God, I used to love it. I used to call it the greatest invention in baseball. Nobody plays. You go to a game. It's
and it's expensive now.
Oh God, yeah. Like it's not cheap like it used to be.
It used to be, cheap tickets, cheap beer. So
I don't. Last year there weren't as many people. I didn't think. Now I was only down there till February 28th, so maybe it got better. But went to a Red Sox game and there were 6,000 people there instead of 9,000. So
interesting. My God, those tickets are jacked up beyond belief for Red Sox.
I got to call my gal Claudia, who used to clean our place every couple of weeks.
Yep.
See how she's doing. I always worry about her with the tornado, with the hurricanes, because she lives over in that area of older buildings, which aren't really hurricane proof. But God, it's a hellhole. It's a hellhole, and you're all telling me how. Oh, I can't wait to get out of Florida because they don't have government. You got government, and it's us. We're paying your bills, you jackasses. Okay, that's just...
Hey, before we get done, tell me about your favorite place to buy a car.
You never have to worry about a hurricane if you buy a car from Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers. Low interest rates, full stock, factory rebates, veteran sales staff, men and women who've been around the business forever. They know what they're doing. They know what you're looking for. They're in the finance department, too. Veteran people in the finance department can make sure the deal works for you. Big Sierra heavy-duty trucks, 4 different varieties of Buick SUVs, different sizes, obviously. Depends on how many kids you have to take to the hockey games by the size of the SUV you want. The new Regal station wagon that Suchi Boy tells me is fantastic. Anyway, check them out in Apple Valley and Hastings. Jim Paul and Brett Paul's Valley Group of GM dealers.
Outstanding. Final thoughts, or are you good?
Final thoughts? I think the Lynx are going to win it. I think they're a little feistier.
So they'll sweep the 2 here?
Yep, that's what they got to do. Brianna Stewart's a monster, I'll say that. Yeah. She's really good.
Yeah.
And, when she played at UConn, she won. She went 4 for 4. She won the national title every year when they won their 4th.
And she had the shaky really game good. 1 at the end. She missed the free throw.
She missed the free throw. She almost had a heart. She couldn't. I saw the replay. She couldn't believe she missed a free throw. So
yeah.
Anyway, it's
a good series. Though. It's fun.
Final thoughts: the Lynx win their 5th title and certainly their most surprising.
Outstanding stuff, Patrick. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.